Let's talk to somebody who works in LA County District Attorney George Gascon's office, but doesn't always agree with him. Deputy District Attorney John McKinney is back on our show. Great to see you again. Thanks for coming on.
It's great to see you guys. Good evening, and thanks for having me back.
So let's start with that big question, which a lot of people are wondering right now. Why is crime going up? Why is this happening?
Well, there are undoubtedly many reasons why crime goes up and goes down, and there are people who study crime for a living who won't even have an opinion about it until 4 or 5 years down the road. But undoubtedly, bad law and bad policy is driving this most recent spike in crime that we're seeing in Los Angeles. If you look at the types of crimes that are concerning us right now, they are directly rooted in bad law from the legislature and bad policy from LA County District Attorney George Gascon.
So does that mean that you put some of the blame, like as a sheriff does, on DA Gascon?
Absolutely. And I heard the lead-in to this piece in which the DA tried to pass the buck to the sheriff and blame the sheriff for the rising crime. And that just shows, what a poor leader he is. But rather than step up and take responsibility and explain how his policies are leading to a safer LA, he wishes to duck your cameras, duck the public, and blame other people. But look at what he's doing. He's not prosecuting anyone under the age of 18 for any theft up to about $1,000. What message does that send to young people out there? Young people who otherwise wouldn't be involved in these kinds of crimes, hearing from the district attorney that these crimes aren't so bad, they're not even worth prosecuting. Is that going to discourage them from committing these crimes or encourage it? He is in some ways incentivizing people to get involved in this kind of behavior.
So you work for him, technically. You're in his office?
I work for him.
Yeah, so what's your relationship like? Do you ever speak to him? Do you have these conversations face to face? Does he ignore you? How does that work?
Well, I think his history of interacting with his DAs is well documented. He did not meet with us when he was initially elected. He called us names prior to the election. He went into a defensive posture and expecting us to resist what he was selling to the public as reasonable and positive change. And he met with everybody else in LA except his own employees. So I see him about as much as you see him. You've been asking for an interview. You've yet to see him. Well, I had one interview with him, not an interview. I had one meeting with him via Zoom. It was about a particular case. I did most of the talking. He listened. He agreed with what I wanted to do, and that was the end of it.
I want to get your take on the zero bail policy. We just heard from Chief Moore about how detrimental this is. I mean, those suspects were booked and then released. That is not something that was put into policy by George Gascon. That has to take some of the blame, right? Given what we're seeing out there on the streets.
Well, there are a couple things going on. The court, ultimately, judges are responsible for setting bail. But they do listen to both the defense and the prosecutor. The George Gascon's policy is he restricts his deputies from requesting bail in any case that doesn't involve a serious or violent felony. You can't even ask for a reasonable bail. So all of the crimes that you're reporting on, virtually all of the crimes that you're reporting on, are crimes in which we are restricted from requesting bail. Now, I would like to say to any judicial officers out there who may be listening that ultimately it's your responsibility to set a reasonable bail, regardless of what the district attorney's policy is. And so we expect our judges to do that. And from what I hear, in many cases, judges are carrying out their independent role to ensure that dangerous people are not let back out onto the streets. Other judges are going along with what the district attorney is requesting.
When these suspects are just booked and then released and they have an arraignment date 3 or 4 months later, is there any monitoring system on them, or are they just free?
Well, sometimes they are released with conditions. One condition could be electronic monitoring, but how many times have you heard stories or come across stories where a person is caught committing a crime with an electronic monitoring bracelet on his ankle. So these electronic monitoring bracelets do not prevent people from leaving their homes or leaving the place that they're confined to and going out and committing additional crime.
So are you challenging your boss? Are you running for LA County District Attorney?
I'm not running for anything right now. The only thing I'm running to do, and that's why I appreciate you having me on, is I'm trying to educate the public about what's going on in the court system.
So when you say right now, that means you haven't decided yet?
Well, there's nothing to run for right now. We have, an elected district attorney. We have one district attorney at a time. I respect the office. I work for Mr. Gascon. And the future of the next election is scheduled for 2024. It's a long time before then. I know there's another recall effort that's gathering steam and will probably kick off soon. But for now, myself and my fellow district attorneys, there's about 900 of us. We're career prosecutors. We go to work every day for the people, and we do the best we can in spite of poor leadership.
With what you're given.
Wow, that was a very interesting conversation, John McKinney.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your perspective.
Thank you.
And again, we welcome George Gascon to join us, and we welcome you to continue to join us as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you.